The Dragon Ball Super Broly Figuarts are really popular, and you can get them at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description down below. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It's Steven here, bringing you yet another Dragon Ball Figuarts review. This time, we're going to be taking a look at a very special version of Vegeta. We're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta from his appearance in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Now, what's interesting about this one is they are marketing it as Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, despite the fact that he comes with a Super Saiyan God head sculpt as well. Wonder why they didn't call this one Vegeta Dragon Ball Super Broly appearance version or something like that. Regardless, this is going to be the chance for all collectors to get a renewal version of the Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt and the first official appearance of the Super Saiyan God head sculpt in the SH Figuarts line, not counting third-party accessory kits. Now here's the big question. At $60 US MSRP, ooh, it's a big price tag. Is it worth it? Let's take a look to see whether or not Vegeta's worth adding into your collection. Fans of Vegeta's classic design and the design that he has mostly throughout Dragon Ball Super will be happy to know that that's pretty much the look that he has here, except for much more gray. All of the white spots that he had on his armor are now gray, and his bodysuit, well, it's so blue, it's almost gray in and of itself. Now, in terms of looks overall, I would have to say that Bandai's paint quality control is pretty alright here. The sort of tan beigeish coloration for Vegeta's armor looks okay, clumpy in some spots, specifically on the back on mine, but where the figure I would have to say actually struggles would be the default head sculpt and faceplate. Reasoning for that is that the Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt, despite the fact that there is some nice glitter in there that really makes the head sculpt shine. That hair is really awesome. There are some really standout flash marks on there, mold marks, whatever you would prefer to call them, that kind of eat into the overall display value of the figure, I feel. They really could have tightened that up a bit. And also, similar to Gogeta's issue with one eye being lower than the other, if you're familiar with sort of, well, how these Saiyans look, the eyes are actually kind of a semicircle cut off by the eyebrow. Here, the right eye on Vegeta looks like that. The left eye, it kind of looks like a semi-oval. So his eyes are two different shapes. The other faceplates aren't like that. Now we know where Gogeta got his eyes from. Anyway, throughout the rest of the figure, the quality control is rather good, with just a couple of issues where we do have some flash marks, but realistically speaking, we are going to have that in action figure production because they have to add plastic to the mold and take stuff out. Simply put, it's going to happen. Here, it's just a bit more noticeable than others. The paint application for things like the gloves and most of the armor, specifically the gray areas on it, are going to look fine along with the boots. So aside from a couple of small issues here and there, which will vary in intensity for whether or not it's going to bother collectors, hey, you know what? It's pretty good. The only serious issues here on mine are just a little bit of paint clumps here and there, the default faceplate, and the rather noticeable flash marks on something that is supposed to be shiny. That'll take back the display value just a little bit. Now, here's a question that a lot of folks are probably asking about. His blue hair. How does it compare to Gogeta? Well, I am pleased to say Vegeta is a hair darker than Gogeta. To be honest, you really won't be able to notice. You just have to look at him very closely and stare at him for a little bit, and you'll notice Vegeta's a little darker. They're practically the same. Alright, so Vegeta's articulation pretty much is the same as all the other Vegeta Figuarts that have been released. There are also some minor improvements that really do make this one stand out. So basically, if you know the formula, you know what you're getting here, but this one's going to be just a little bit better than the rest. What do we have? Well, obviously, we do have the head, which is plugged in on a ball joint. So this way we can twist and turn Vegeta's head around, rock it from side to side, and then, per usual, let me pop the head off here. We do have that little hinge and swivel at the base, which allow you to further move Vegeta's head around. So we have plenty of nice movement there. It would help if I got the ball joint back on correctly. So overall, Vegeta can look in pretty much any direction. What helps with this as well is Vegeta's got a nice ball joint down here. If it would move for me, which I'm not going to go ahead and force, but yeah, that's kind of stuck for me. Maybe it'll move one day. But yeah, that's supposed to be a ball joint, so this way you can move the neck around a bit more, but unfortunately, it does not want to move. So Vegeta does have a ball joint where the shoulders plug into the body, which is nice, so this way we can move it around, get a little bit of rocker movement there. And then there is actually a butterfly hinge. Moves out about that far, so this way Vegeta can kind of cross his arms over. We can get into a nice Gallic gun pose. This is one of the improvements from previous Vegeta releases because they didn't really have that capability, so this is rather nice. What helps with that as well is there is a hinge in the actual shoulder, so this way you can raise and lower Vegeta's arms, or you can push them forward and back. So that on top of the butterfly hinge, we're looking about that far over Vegeta's chest. So that's pretty cool. We do have the obvious dedicated bicep swivel that comes into play with swapping for the crossed arm parts. And then we have a double elbow hinge. For the wrists, we do have the classic SH Figuarts swivel hinge combo. So this way they swivel around and they hinge in one specific direction or the other. And then the hands plug in on a ball joint. So this way you can get a nice pose or two out of Vegeta's hands. And you can easily swap the hands out. Nice. For the ab crunch, ball joint, but there is also a hinge system allowing Vegeta to go all the way forward, and he can rock back as well. And if you do that, you can easily see inside there. So yes, there is a hinge system, which helps Vegeta move just a bit more. There is a ball joint in the waist to help turn him from side to side and rock around a little bit, which is cool. We do have the 2.0 style hips. He's going back about that far, forward about that far. I'm not quite sure what's causing the lack of movement forward, but that's pretty good. Out to the side, about that far. If you turn the sculpt a little bit, you get more, so that's good. We do have swivels where the hips plug into the thighs, which is good. Double hinge knees, double ball jointed ankles. So there's a ball joint plugged in the foot, and then another one at the bottom of the leg, and then a toe hinge. So yeah, we do get a little bit of ankle rocker movement out of the ankles, but the feet, it's not so great. So overall, Vegeta can move rather well. You already know the formula. If you have another Vegeta, this one just steps it up a little bit. Good quality of life improvements. Accessories time here, and wow, we got one angry Vegeta with this release. So we get 2 extra faceplates for the Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt. We get the Super Saiyan God head sculpt with 1 faceplate. We get the standard fare of hands, which is going to include a thumbs up. We do have his sort of karate bugman hands. We get gripping hands and splayed out hands, and we get crossed arms. So just taking a look at the hands, we've pretty much gotten all of these hands before with the various releases of Vegeta. This is sort of a culmination of everything, and you know how to swap out the hands. So here's just a quick couple of action shots with all of those hands. And then of course we do get the folded arm parts, which are nice. Some folks really do like that with their Vegeta, so that is nice to have if you need to use that. So you're just going to have to be careful and pop the default arms off at the bicep swivel and then plug these in. Be careful. If you need to use heat, Don't be afraid to do that. Now let's go ahead and look at the alternate faceplates. Here is where Vegeta does take a little bit of a step back. It seems like Bandai is struggling with Vegeta's faceplates. So aside from the neutral faceplate for the Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt, we do get one where he's gritting his teeth, and then we do get another where he is yelling. Now it's not so much apparent on the one where he's yelling, but the one where he's gritting his teeth, yeah, there is like a beige, tan, peach-ish coloration, an outline they used for around the corners of his mouth. Yeah, it's a little heavy-handed, and it doesn't look all that great. Now, when we go over to the Super Saiyan God head sculpt, we kind of see the same thing here, and a lot of folks are really digging into this one because they think it doesn't look that great. To be honest, I think it's kind of middle of the road. I think the eyes are a bit too small, and I think that smirk is not quite the best sculpted in there. I think they could have improved this, but ultimately it gets the job done, and it's not terrible. What's upsetting is that we don't get one of those pseudo Big Bang attack faces, the one where he was looking at Broly and he was very stern. We really needed this here with this release. You should be able to figure out how to swap out the heads. You just pull them and pop it back on the ball joint. Now, a lot of folks are probably wondering, how is this red compared to the Super Saiyan God Goku release? Nope. This is closer to a maroon, where that Super Saiyan God Goku is closer to a pink. So, yeah. They don't match. So overall for accessories, Vegeta comes with basically all of the essentials that we're going to need. Another faceplate for Super Saiyan Godhead would be great, and an effect part would be awesome as well, but it seems like they're starting to stray away from effect parts in some areas, but yeah. You know, I got videos to get you covered if you need effects parts or you need some stands. Oh, and one more thing about accessories. You're probably wondering about the demoniacal fit head sculpts or other head sculpts from previous Vegeta releases. Yes, Patrick, they do fit on this one. Do take note, you're probably going to want to use heat to pop it on, but yeah, they fit, just like a glove. Now it's time for a size comparison with some other figures you just might have, or some popular ones you might know about. And as you can see, Vegeta should be just about the size you imagine him to be when you crack him open out of the box. Cool. So buy now, skip, or wait for a good deal. Well, considering it's a web exclusive brought over by Bluefin, it's available at retail in the United States, so it's kind of like it doesn't matter for a few months anyway. Vegeta won't probably be going on sale anytime soon. You're looking to spend $60 on this guy, and to be honest with you, it does feel a bit light compared to, say, Gogeta, which was just recently released for $5 cheaper, and I'd have to say Gogeta's the better figure here. But at the end of the day, this is nice to get a renewal Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt for Vegeta, and well, we do get an official Super Saiyan Godhead sculpt for him as well. Overall, if you're looking for a new rendition of Vegeta or something that's unique, after all, this body coloration anyway is different from the previous ones released, hey, this will definitely stand out on the shelf. Overall, it's not a bad purchase, but kind of feels like Bandai could have tightened up this release for the price point. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand-selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand-selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.